wonderful. Good morning, everybody. I'm the Reverend Jim Coakley. My pronouns are he, him, and I want to welcome you to the United Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Whether you've joined us online or here in person, you're so very, very welcome. I also want to thank everybody that helped put this service together today. It's always a big collaboration with the tech and the music and the RE and the snacks downstairs, so thank you, everyone. If you're checking us out, online, if you want to put something in the text that you're there, maybe an email address so we can get back to you. If you're here, please fill out a visitor card and place it in the offering plate later in our service. And last but not least, please double check that your phone is silenced, because I forget to do that sometimes too, and then whoops, you don't want to be that person. So, welcome everyone, and we will get started by lighting our chalice. Please join me with the words in your order of service or up on the screen. May this flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, and the light of truth. Here together we scatter seeds of spirit, service, and community. My call to worship today is short. It's from Michael Beckwith, called A Divine Sparkle of Gratitude. Gratitude places you in the energy field of plenitude. Perceiving life in a consciousness of gratitude is literally stepping into another dimension of living. Suddenly, the seeming ordinariness of your days takes on a divine sparkle. And so with that, let's sing about a divine sparkle with our first hymn. I've picked 2 Thanksgiving hymns out today. So it's number 349 if you want to follow along in the hymnal with the music. Otherwise, you can just watch the words up on the screen. We gather together for 2 verses. Please rise as you're able. Gather together in joyful thanksgiving, acclaiming Please be seated. I think I'm going to do the time for all ages from here, since I don't have another microphone available, and that's okay. It's going to be a little bit short. The whole month today we're talking about nurturing gratitude in here, and the children are talking more about being nurtured by gratitude. So this week they're exploring how gratitude matures us and asks us to respond to taking care of the earth and being generous to others. And so when they do that, it's basically lifting up our Unitarian Universalist value of interdependence, and particularly with Indigenous Peoples Month, and explore what they think about gratitude. All right. So actually, they're going to need to look over here. So it's a book. This is a really cool book, and I'm not going to read it today up here. I'm going to let you read it down there, because there's a lot of detail and the drawings are really small, and I want you to be able to look at it. What I'm going to focus on instead is the Cherokee words. Is that bothering everybody, the echo, or is it just me up here? Okay. He's going to try to fix it. All right. So it's called We Are Grateful. And then there's a word that's unusual to us and some printing that's unusual. So at the very top, you can see that it's written in Cherokee, the word "we are grateful." And then there's the word written in our alphabet. And then below that is how to say it. So I'm going to teach you how to say "we are grateful" in Cherokee. So the words are Ojali Haliga. Ojali Haliga. Can you guys say that? Ojali Haliga. That means we are grateful. So there's a couple of more words in it. The whole book goes through the whole year, from fall, winter, spring, and summer. So I'm going to teach you the words for those seasons. So fall is Uli Gohusti. Uli Gohusti. Can you try to say that? Uli Gohusti. That's fall. Winter's a lot easier. It's Gola. Gola. Gola is winter, what we're entering right now. And then summer is also easy. It's Gogi. Gogi. And then finally, I forgot spring, didn't I? Okay, let's go back to spring. It's Gogei. Gogei. So we have Ojalihe Liga, Uli Gohusti, Gola, Gogei, and Gogi. So basically, the book is about being grateful every day, the entire year, in every season. So I'll let you read it there, and you can see all the pictures. So let's sing them back to their class. So I have a special reading for us today, primarily because Andrea Gibson is one of my favorite poets. Andrea uses the pronouns they, them, and wrote this poem after being prompted by their partner with the idea, like, write a poem in which you accept a fictional award. So they use the number of goosebumps as something that gives the goosebumps that something gives them to help them appreciate something more. Now, it is a bit long, it's about 6 minutes, but it's definitely worth it. And what I want you to do is focus on the wild variety of examples that they cite throughout it. And if you're watching this online, especially in a recording or even later on, Andrea Gibson is not only a poet, but they are also a performance artist. So I strongly recommend you Google their name or go onto YouTube and put in the title and their name and watch them perform it. So this is it, acceptance speech after setting the world record for goosebumps. I wasn't by any means a natural, was not one of those wow hounds born jaw-dropped. I was tough in the husk. Went years untouched by rain, took shelter seriously, even and often and especially in good weather. My tears like teenagers hiding under the hoods of my eyes, so committed they were to never falling for the joke of astonishment. When I was told there were 7 wonders of the world, I trusted the math, believed I had seen none of them. Of course, beauty hunted me. It hunts everyone, but I outran it, hid in worry, regret, the promise of an afterlife or a week's end. Then one day, In a red velvet theater in New Orleans, I watched Maya Angelou walk on stage. 17 slow steps to the mic, she took a breath before speaking, and I could hear God being born in that breath. My every pore reached out like a hand pointing to the first unthinkable lotus in the bayou of the universe. I'd never felt anything like it. Searched the encyclopedia for feelings name when I got home. Goosebumps. Afterward, I thought, I can do this. Started training morning to night, the crowbar swinging like a pendulum at the wall of my chest, tore the caution tape off my life, and let everything touch it. Allen Iverson on the television in his first season with the Sixers, crossover, sharp as a V of sparrows, flying through the paint like Michelangelo's brush. 333 goosebumps. My baby sister, sober for the first time in 13 years, calling to tell me she just noticed our mother's eyes are green. 505 goosebumps. One day, my friends scored tickets to a Prince concert, tiny venue. I was right behind the sound booth. Prince's entire band that evening, women. At the end of the show, the sound person turned around and whispered, he didn't play one song on his set list the whole night. I live on stages. I know what it is to scratch a plan, but not the whole trip and still arrive to your destination 200 years before your time. 421 artists formerly known as Goosebumps. But that's just the fancy stuff. Some of them came from simple facts. It rains diamonds on Jupiter. 189 goosebumps. Blood donors in Sweden receive a thank you message when their blood is used. 301 Nordic goosebumps. One night in Ann Arbor, my friend, still undiagnosed, could not uncurl her fingers to strum her guitar, so she sang the chords instead. It was the first time in my life I'd seen pain become an instrument. 10 dozen goosebumps for each and every note plucked from the string section of her refusal to silence her dream. After that, nothing in the world was gray. Even the movie of my past was released in color. The oldest man in my hometown could not get to the door to listen to our carols, so we went inside and sang at his bedside instead. 24 boots on the front step catching snowflakes with their tongues. 776 goosebumps. At one point, everything started doing it. A sincere apology, 221 goosebumps. An enemy's love poem, 222 goosebumps. The moon rising over the continental divide. My girlfriend and I thought it was a car driving off a cliff, and suddenly nothing in the world was dying. Have you ever felt that? A split second when nothing in the world is dying? 888 goosebumps. And the next day, I sharpened a tiny axe so I could split the seconds myself. Too much lives in a moment to not feed it to the fire in the heart slow. A Missoula treehouse filled with candlelight, 143 goosebumps. The octopus documentary, 54 goosebumps multiplied by 8. The biggest dog in the shelter hiding behind a teacup chihuahua, and the woman who came to adopt a cat taking all 3 of them home. 1,012 goosebumps. There is no escaping the magic now. Beauty caught me and never let me go. And the thing about the world record is, if someone breaks it after me, and they will break it after me, I will love that so much that without even trying, I'll break it again. Reciprocity. how gratitude asks us to respond. Well, I'm sure you realize that Thanksgiving Day is coming quite soon, right around the corner it seems. And it's that time of year when at some point we're all asked what we've been thankful for this year, right? We all tend to cite the usual things: family, good health, renewed friendships, enough food and shelter, etc. You get the idea. And it's a wonderful, wonderful ritual, don't get me wrong, but this year we're asked to do something a bit more. We're asked to nurture gratitude, meaning, at least what I think it means, is to grow our gratitude into something bigger, like a flower. Feed it some fertilizer, make it healthier, more present, more blooming in us. Well, Gibson, in this poem, breaks the paradigm of the things we normally cite as things we're grateful for at Thanksgiving dinner. They open it up completely wide open. They're grateful for anything that produces a noticeable amount of goosebumps. Essentially, it seems like Gibson is grateful for the big things which move them emotionally. Definitely a spiritual exercise in nurturing gratitude. So this month, Gibson was my inspiration for my own spiritual exercise. It seems like this wasn't planned, but every month I come up here with my second message of the month and tell you, let's do a spiritual exercise together. So that's what this is about. I took this on, this challenge, a la Gibson, and came up with my own way to do it. So my purpose here is to inspire you to let loose a little bit, think of how you would do this so you can get ready for that Thanksgiving dinner and come up with something that wows people, I guess. So for me, some of you know me well enough now that you go, of course. Instead of a goosebump scale, it would be a tearing up scale. And if I tear up enough, it could be the choking on my tears scale kind of thing. And so I started thinking, well, I seem to cry at even stoplights, right? I'm one of those people. So I'm trying to think, okay, that's a little trivial. So what are the things, when is it that I really have this happen? And often it's when I'm watching a movie or a series. We tend to watch something every night. It's my husband's habit for a long time. That wasn't how I was, but I've enjoyed it. And every now and then you'll hear this on the couch, and he looks at me like I'm having a heart attack or something. I went, no, it's just a moving minute. And he gives me this little weird eyebrow, and then we go back to watching. So let me give you an example. So this last week, just on Friday, many of you, I don't know if you follow Wicked, it's the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and the movie came out a couple of years ago, and it's fabulous fun. It's a very colorful, fabulous musical. The singing's great, the music's great, and it's part one and part two. And part two is coming out this week, and we already have tickets for it. So since our memories aren't what they should be, we decided to go to a matinee on Friday and try to remember what the first one was about. So on Friday we went to see Wicked again. And if you don't know the plot, let me describe it a little bit. I think you probably know the plot of The Wizard of Oz is the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Well, in this movie, Galinda is the Good Witch, and she's all in pink and blonde and perky and all that kind of stuff. Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the West, or becomes that by the end of the movie, and her skin is green. She was born that way, wears all black, is very serious all the time, has that kind of witch's black hat kind of thing. And these two meet in what I guess is college. It's some sort of magical school, and they are forced to be roommates, and they hate each other. They despise. There's even a whole song about how much they despise each other. And Galinda plays a trick on her and invites Elphaba to a dance where everybody's going to be there, and gifts her this black witch's hat and said, oh, you should wear it to the dance, they're going to love it, knowing that everybody's going to tease her and despise her. And so there's this beautiful dance going on, and Elphaba walks in, and everybody stops and starts snickering. And Elphaba's a strong character and does something to try to pretend she doesn't care and starts trying to make up her own dance. And right then and there, when Galinda, who is the biggest influencer of all the other students, decides to have remorse and actually walks up with her and joins the dance. I burst into tears in the theater. I mean, it's a silly show, right? But I realized it wasn't the silly show. It's the fact that someone is so kind. To go from bullying someone to being remorseful and being kind. Maybe it's because I was bullied as a teenager or as a preteen that I felt for that. And so that gives you a sense. So that was one of my high marks of tearing up moments kind of thing. And Scott looked at me like, oh my God, what is he doing in the theater? So there's that one. So I think it's this, if I see acts of kindness that just move me. The other one I realized is movies or even real life, because I do a lot of memorial services, the moment when people have intense grief and anguish from the death of a loved one, and they're kind of working through it, and we've all been there where you just kind of ruminate on it, and you just can't get past it, and all of a sudden somehow you find your way through, and it's resolved, and I tear up all the time when that happens. So those are probably the two instances that would be my goosebumps meter, my tear-up meter. There's others, like a very, very moving speaker. I have to tell you, I'm still a member of the church up in Appleton, the fellowship up in Appleton. I haven't been there since I started seminary 14 years ago. But when I would go regularly for 20 years, somewhere in the service, every Sunday morning, I would tear up. It would be either what somebody was saying or a piece of music, or sometimes just the way silence was used. It just was very emotional, which is probably why I became a minister and I'm here in front of you today. Another one is a lot like Andrea. It was these amazing encounters of maybe athleticism, of performance, of beauty. Then there's all kinds of music. I love music, almost every type of music. And to me, they present very magical moments. I really believe that music is my portal for the transcendent, and then who knows where my imagination will go. And it's probably some of my greatest memories of choking up experiences come from singing. So you may not know, but I'm part of a big community choir up in Appleton, have been for 15 years. And so it has helped me through so many troubled times, just rehearsals. There's 80 people. A lot of them were Lawrence graduates, which is a big music school. So it's just singing with these kind of people just moves me. And so all these years, there's been moments that have really meant something to me. Now, I'm going to tell you probably my most embarrassing moment here. I am known now in the choir as the snorter because one year we were singing a big piece by Jake Runstead. He's a choral composer out of Rockford, Illinois. And I don't remember the whole name of the piece, but there was this part called Joy. So, of course, it was very joyful. And we sang this really loud chorus and came to this beautiful chord at the end, and then it stopped and there was quiet. And then we were supposed to come in really, really soft. And at that moment, I teared up unbelievably. And when I opened my mouth to breathe, it kind of went... In the concert with 700 people watching. And everybody around me was snickering and trying not to laugh while they're performing. And I thought, oh my God, I hope it's not on the recording. And then later on that night, it was our last concert of the season, and somebody had a party, and the hostess of the party said, "Who was that person snorting? Did you hear that?" That was me. So that obviously is something that's a big part of my life. Another time, much more serious, we sing a lot of Christmas carols at the Christmas concert, and there are usually new compositions of favorite carols. And this one in particular was a jazz version of Away in the Manger. And I was trying to research and I can't figure out who the composer was, but we were singing this in the chapel, and the concert was 6 days after the Sandy Hook shooting. We came to the 6th verse. And the words are, "Bless all the dear children in your tender care." And I lost it. I couldn't sing the rest of the hymn. It was hard to pull myself back together. And at that moment, and even after, I had this sort of weird out-of-body experience because I was thinking of my children, Christiana and Alex. I have two, they're in their 30s now, but this was thinking back to when they were young. And particularly my daughter, Christiana, because someone had recently done our ancestry and found out back in Germany in the 1600s, so 17th century, my 15th generation back grandmother's name was Christiana. And we didn't know that when we named her that. We named her that because we had lived in Germany and liked the name. So I thought about all the children that had to have lived and survived into adulthood from 400 years at that moment, and just was valuing my ancestors so much. Finally, one other work that I've done sermons on this one. It's by Eric Whitaker, who about 10 years ago was the rock star of choral music in my estimation. He was the first one to do virtual choirs before COVID, when that became a normal thing. And there's a piece he wrote called When David Heard. And it comes from a passage in the Hebrew scriptures that's when David heard that Absalom had died, he went up to the city gates and wailed, "O Absalom, oh that I could have died for thee." Absalom was his son, he died in battle. And so this piece is written with all a cappella, and it's all this anguish and these weird chords that smash up against each other. There must be 40 notes in the chord. And it's supposed to just make you very anguished throughout it, but by the very end it resolves. It's 17 minutes long. And I swear I go through all 5 stages of grief listening to it in 17 minutes. And there, for a while, I think it was my midlife crisis, for 2 years, I was very sad, kind of bordering on depression. And this song, I would play it every day, sometimes more than once. And I would be at work, and I'd be listening to it because I was having a tough time. And then when it was done, I could go back to work. I don't know how to explain it. But that's how much music and singing have meant to me in my life. So that's why I'm using this tearing up and as my meter, and then singing as my portal. Now, there's another way to do this. If you don't like this, it's a little too unusual. Think of it this way. Think of all the things in your life that happen, and think little by little, maybe you can cluster them a little bit, and think about, what if that wasn't in my life? What if whatever started you down that path, where that is in your life, like you live in Waukesha. What if you'd never lived in Waukesha and you were somewhere else? Think about if you'd missed those things. And think about, does that nurture your gratitude for that thing even more if it was not in your life? And in my case, and I think I wrote this in my monthly letter, it's the appreciation of music, that my parents actually appreciated music, played it all the time, and my mother and her sister sang in the Little Lutheran Church choir. And I'm sure that there was probably a woman, but maybe male and female, in my family lineage, back to that grandma, Christiana in Germany, that sang in the Little Lutheran Church in Germany. And for that to come down for all those generations, for me to be singing now, if that wasn't in my life, that would be astonishing. And that's another reason why I thought I was so grateful for that. So, the first word in my message today is reciprocity, paying it forward. So I've spent a lot of time trying to get you to think of how to think of gratefulness a little bit more deeply. Now, what do you do with it? Well, pay it forward kind of became a slogan. People be in the Starbucks line and pay for the next person's coffee behind them and that kind of thing. We've heard a lot about it. I found a quote in the Paper Peony Press. It's actually a Christian blog, and it was how to practice gratitude and pay it forward, and I want to share this with you. When we talk about paying it forward, what we're really talking about is recognizing the simple beauty and abundance in life and finding ways to help others recognize it as well. It's natural to feel thankful when someone goes out of their way to do something nice for you. But on the flip side, when you go out of your way to do something for someone else, you help kindle that fire in them. Your personal gratitude becomes the seed that allows positivity to flourish all around you. I'll repeat that. Your personal gratitude becomes the seed that allows positivity to flourish all around you. So invite others to try a similar spiritual exercise. That's one way to pay it forward. Tell them what you did. Tell them, like I just did. That's what I've been doing here. This was my spiritual exercise and my way of paying it forward, and kind of poking fun at myself to relax you so that I'm like, this isn't so hard. You can do it. Try to see if someone else will do a spiritual exercise. In my case, I support music in every way that I can. I share music. I participate in all kinds of choral groups. I do whatever I can financially. I volunteer with organizations. And then I talk about the experience and share the gratitude. So make this Thanksgiving season a spiritual exercise of nurturing gratitude. Find your own personal goosebump scale. And if you find a really silly one, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But open your heart and mind wide open, like Gibson did, and rediscover all that you're truly thankful for. Or think about everything in your daily life and what you would miss the most if it never existed. Then pay it forward some way, somehow. Share your experience with anybody who'll listen. Support things that make those things happen. Organizations, groups, spaces. Maybe it's a walk in a nature preserve. Just pick up the garbage. Activities. You get the idea. Find a way to pay it forward and spread the gratitude and joy. And may we all create portals to nourish gratitude in a world that needs it so. Blessed be. And I have an idea. Why don't we sing about it? For the Beauty of the Earth. I think it's such a classic hymn this time of year and really talks about gratitude for everything and every aspect of it. So it's number 21 in the hymnal if you want to read the music, but I think you probably know it. Please rise, embody your spirit for the beauty of the earth.
Source of all, to thee we raise
Very good. Please be seated. I guess I could have come down and grabbed this microphone. I didn't realize it was releasable. Sorry, Aaron. Anyway, we come to our part of a service that is very sacred, a sharing of joys and sorrows with each other. Again, just a reminder, it's so we can celebrate with each other with the joys and hold the sorrows in our heart, because we are a community that cares for each other. Please come up, say your name and pronouns if you want to, and please grab a stone from this bowl and drop it in the other one that's filled with water. The symbolism there is that the ripples carry everything out into the world, so it's shared universally. So let's get started. Please come up.
Marcia and Alex are here. Yay!
And I have to say, partly it's thankful to Pam and Jennifer's ice machine. Got me through my hip surgery. 5.5 weeks of 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off, and at 5.5 weeks, all of a sudden, the pain was gone. Uh-oh. Oh, oh, honey. Oh.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah. I have to say we're thankful to, the doctors. Alex has been in bad health with cancer. And I have to thank the beautiful, wonderful, caring doctors that have gotten him through for 6 years. And I have to thank the doctors who got my hip in shape and have allowed me and helped me to help my wonderful husband. And I have to thank all the people in this beautiful church. I love you all so much. Thank you.
I think she's going to make me cry. But I want to express personally all the people who called me, the dinners we had, all from the members of the congregation. I mean, were wonderful, wonderful gestures that really hit my heart. And hers too, because she didn't have to cook. But anyway, and I have to say, she's stood by me and gone through all this crap. For those who don't know, I have metastatic prostate cancer. But anyway, the other thing that I have gratitude for the people who see me walking. And the thing that I'm reminded of is the Carol Burnett show. Remember Tim Conway used to do this, this little character, and then eventually he'd fall over? I think that's what I look like right now. But thank you, everybody, and I'm grateful that we're here. Throw a rock in there.
Go ahead, you do it.
All right. I'm so glad we had this time together. Sorry, if you're younger, that was a song from that show. Anyway, would anyone else come on up?
Yes, my name is Don. My twin brother. My twin brother died after 14 months of pancreatic cancer. So, with this stone, I placed in this water, representing the ripples that will fall in fall, and hopefully come up to the ripples were around, and I threw a bunch of stones and skidded rocks in the river. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I have two things that could either make you laugh, cry, or smile, all at the same time. Yesterday was my the anniversary of my mother's death, her birthday, and also my son's birthday. So my son turned 24, and my mother would have been 93. And I was my mom's caretaker her last 6 years of her life. That was my full-time job for the last 3 years that she was alive. And she was a character. She loved fiercely. She had 9 kids. She had another half a dozen people that she was their mom. And they're my brothers and sisters now. She was just an amazing, wonderful person. If you hung out in the pubs in Waukesha, you knew her, Peggy Riley. And so this year was and I'm tearing up a little bit, but this year was the first year after her passing that her birthday wasn't sad. Everywhere I went, everything I saw, I could feel her, I could see her, and it made me smile. And, I think grieving takes that. But, so that was wonderful. So, yesterday was a great day celebrating my mom's life and her birthday without the pain. And then the other thing is my son's birthday. He's from Venezuela. He's adopted, but he came here 9 years ago when he was 15, and he was 15. And so I'm all into hard work and gardening and passing on all these skills about how to remodel and everything. And everything I tried to offer him, he thought I was punishing him. And this last birthday, yesterday, it's been now he's 24, and he wants to learn how to use all the power tools. He's coming to me and thanking me for all the stuff I'm teaching him. And as I'm getting older and I can't lift big buckets and move heavy things anymore, he's helping me with joy, which is so. It was his birthday and my mom's birthday, and it was probably one of the most wonderful days I've celebrated in a long time. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul, and Susan and I have a joy. We're going to be spending next week with our daughter and son-in-law and their family for Thanksgiving, and our granddaughter is off school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so we get to spend 3 whole days with her entertaining an 8-year-old.
Sounds like fun. Hello, come on up.
Okay. Hi, I'm Donna, of course, and I came in today and I saw the food barrel full, and I thought, 94 goosebumps. So I want to thank everyone for filling up the barrel, paying it forward. We have plenty. Others need so much. And so it just is a fantastic way to celebrate being an old lady.
Take it. Thank you. Just don't. Thank you.
And that wonderful old lady will be 94 on the 19th. So,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donna. Happy birthday to you. Come on up.
My name is Phyllis. I just want to express gratitude. Friday, I went to a private burial for my uncle. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, so we had a very dignified military service for him, and it was nice to see the men in uniform folding the flag and so on. And it was an interesting story. I didn't expect to see Air Force airmen in uniform, but they said they were stationed out of St. Louis and they're based in Chicago to do funerals in Wisconsin and Illinois. So that was an extra special thing. And I was among 16 family members that gathered for his burial, so I was grateful to be there sharing with family. And then yesterday we had 23 guests, counting me, at our house, 6 little children, because Richard's sister from Colorado is in town. So I've had a lot of family to be grateful for.
I'll try this again. My name is Don. On Wednesday morning, I lost a twin brother to stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He's been suffering for 14 months, and he will be missed.
Anyone else? I guess there's one thing I wanted to share with you, and I'm not sure if I've told the wider circle, but my daughter is married to a man from Mexico who we've had a very hard time for the last 5 years trying to get things together for him to immigrate. And after the last election, we kind of gave up. So my daughter has now moved down to Mexico. She's 33. And so for the first time, they've been married for 4 years. They're actually living together. We set them up with a house. And so they're very, very, very happy. So even though it didn't turn out the way we wanted, they're down there. And I'm traveling down there for a week to visit them in San Miguel de Allende. Maybe some of you know, it's a big expat community in north of Mexico City. So I'm going to put a stone in for just that it's resolved itself in a very positive way, even if it wasn't the way we wanted it to be. Anyone else? Do you want to come up? Okay. I'm going to put in one last stone for the unspoken joys and sorrows that we have in our hearts. And then I just want to take a minute of silence. I'll ring it in and out so that we can just center ourselves, go into prayer, meditation, whatever is your tradition, to honor all that has been said or that's on your heart.
Walking with you, walking with you is our prayer.
Offering to support our staff in the operation of this building and the many ministries of this congregation. There are 2 simple ways to give. Obviously, the easiest and the most traditional is to just drop a check or money right into the offering plate that's going to go by. Otherwise, you can go to the online way to give that's written in your order of service. There's a QR code in there and up on the screen. All is gratefully appreciated. And we want to thank everyone who faithfully gives through all the pledges and donations and time and talent. We're forever grateful for your commitment. Thank you. Sorry. Today is Share the Plate for the Food Pantry, and how do they do that?
A portion of what is collected.
All the cash, if it's not designated for your pledge?
Yeah, and I believe, was there a QR code in an email?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But anyway, I think we know how to do this. Okay. So for the food pantry is today. So we're gratefully will receive the offering now. Thank you. My sending words today are called A Grateful Heart by the Reverend Sandra Fees. May you rise in the morning and greet the dawn with a grateful heart. Throughout the day, may you accept the simple gifts that arise: food, shelter, water, sunshine, with a grateful heart. May you greet others whose paths you cross with that same gratefulness. And when evening comes, may you greet sleep with a grateful heart, a heart of compassion and joy. Let's join me, please, in the extinguishing words, and then I will extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. And then a few housekeeping announcements today. The Christmas Clearing Council, it's our annual way to support families that we need a little help giving gifts to their children. We're supporting 2 families this year, 7 children. There's a holiday tree downstairs with some tags on it. If you take one, bring it back with a gift. You can wrap it December 7th. If you don't have time for all of that, we understand you can give cash or to Ellen, who had her hand raised a minute ago, or any questions that you have about it. The next one, we do still have a job opening in our religious exploration, particularly for the junior high kids. So if you know of anybody, they don't necessarily have to have teaching experience, just kind of get into Unitarian Universalism, or we can tell them all about it and love to be with teenagers. Please send something to the office if you want to apply, or if you want information to send to someone else. And then finally, something that's a little bit unusual. We're having a brief, very short congregational meeting, I hope it is. It's next Sunday after the service at 11:45, immediately following, like right now, before the coffee hour. Basically, it's this. We're trying to figure out ways to get Wi-Fi access to everywhere in the building, including the basement. And there's a variety of proposals that have been brought forward at all different price tags. But one of them, probably the most comprehensive it seems, is over $2,000. We're not sure exactly how much, but the bylaws say that if the board needs to spend over $2,000, it has to be approved by the congregation. So that's what this is. So the Board of Trustees have already approved to bring this vote to you, and so at that meeting next Sunday, they'll talk about all the proposals and that kind of thing. So this is just an announcement to see that you can stay a little bit longer and be ready to vote and hear all about it. That's all our announcements for today, so let's just give gratitude for giving a little bit by Supertramp.
Give a little bit of your love to me. Give a little bit of my love to you. There's so much that we need to share. Send a smile and show you care. Give a little bit, I give a little bit of my life for you. Give a little bit of your time to me. See the man with the lonely eyes, take his hand, you'll be surprised. Anybody bring a saxophone? Give a little bit of your love to me. Give a little bit of my life for you. Now's the time that we need to share, so find yourself, we're on our way back home. Oh, we're going home. Don't you need, 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 don't you need to feel at home?